Good evening again. It's Friday, and I promised you that I was going to make up Message Monday, Teacher Tip Tuesday, Wisdom Wednesday, Testimony Thursday, and of course, Forgiven Friday. Once again, I asked for forgiveness. I've let the old devil go, okay? Nobody cares. But I'm glad God was right here going, put that makeup on and go put on a video, okay? So, Teacher Tip Tuesday. What would I say if it was Tuesday and I was giving a teacher tip? First of all, as a teacher, I know that here in South Georgia, they may not make it such a big deal to share God in school. And I'm going to share God in school. I do the nativity scene at Christmas. I do not try to make others, I don't force my belief on others. But I pray at school. I sing hymns at school, even though they're off key. You can ask any of my students. They know I love them, and I try to instill a little bit of spirituality into them. First and foremost, as a parent, you got to have God in your life. Your children need you to teach them about Jesus. You've got to be able to tell them what the Bible is. Take them to church. Yes, I've fallen short of that. I haven't taken my child to church like I'm supposed to, but we're working on that. We're mending that. Now, your children need to see you pray for them. Pray for your husband, significant other, spouse. Say the blessing. Pray. State the Lord in the right way around your home. That's my first teacher tip, is let others see Jesus in you. Let your kids see Jesus in you. Okay? So, even though I've fallen short on that, I hope my little boy can say, my mama prayed for me. My mama taught me about Jesus, because it's the most important thing that I could do. Now, from a teacher's perspective, what could you do right now? It's summer break, and the kids are having fun. But there may be a little bit of summer slide, is what teachers call it, because they're not doing as much. Parents aren't doing as much. They're just trying to keep their head above water because, they're working, kids are out, kids are costing a lot more. Summer camps, trying to find babysitters or places to go. One thing I'm going to do when I get to heaven is I'm going to say, Lord, why did you send these gnats and flies? Anyway, chasing a squirrel. Anyway, first and foremost, a teacher's always going to tell you, especially in the younger years, your kids need you to read to them. Then when they become old enough to start putting words together and reading, you need to encourage them to read. I encourage you to read daily, nightly. You can read signs going down the highway, things around the home. Read, read, read. And that goes for all ages. It doesn't matter if that's pre-K or baby to young adulthood. The more you read, the more you build your vocabulary, okay? Also, another teacher tip is pushing in vocabulary. So many times I'm like, oh, you need Miss K to help you. And so in the last few years of my teacher training, I have learned, let's push some tier 2, tier 3 vocabulary in. Like, do you need some assistance? I will be glad to assist you. Teach other names of the bathroom, like bathroom, restroom, the urinal, the toilet. There's different ways you can push in vocabulary. Like when we are about to, or when we get to the stop sign, I talked to my kid about shapes, and that it's a flat shape. It's the color red. It is an octagon. It has 8 sides. or 8 edges, 8 corners, 8 vertices. Talk to your kids. Good talk. Push in that extra vocabulary. Yes, they need to know A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They do. But they also need you to help them build their vocabulary. And it has become more natural since I've been doing it the last couple years. It's hilarious to hear my other coworkers in the hallway pushing in those words. You find a lot of, like, we've been eating breakfast in our classroom since the pandemic. And I can say, go discard your trash or go dispose of your trash in that cylinder outside or in the waste basket outside. You can always push in more vocabulary. Now, your children need that exposure through you, through friends, through stories that you read. Also, I'm going to give you a little teacher tip also. Shapes and colors and patterns, those are things that you need to know when you are teaching the younger kids, because that builds knowledge. So if you come into my classroom in kindergarten and you don't know your alphabet and your letter sounds, even though that is a kindergarten standard, if you come in already not knowing some of those, it's harder. Now, I'm not saying they got to come in mastering it. That's part of my job to teach that. But the quicker that they learn their letters and sounds, the quicker they can learn to blend those sounds together to read words, to make words. And then that builds on their vocabulary, their reading skills, their writing skills. Just like with numbers. If your child cannot count, like right now, my personal child, we are working on trying to get over the number 9. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14. You know, we just start skipping. And I'm like, hey, buddy, slow it down. We're not skipping it. But the drastic jump is that kindergarten students are required to be able to count by ones to 100 and by tens to 100. You also have to master writing and recognizing numbers 0 to 20. Now I want you to listen to this. Now, counting to 100 by ones and by tens, and having to identify and write numbers 0 to 20. Guess what? When they get to first grade, they got to be able to count to 120 and write and fill in a hundreds chart. So your children really do need to be getting that number exposure as much as possible. I know we all like technology. Put in a passcode on your phone or teach them a passcode to have to, figure it out. Learn those numbers. I think you can change your passcode different times. So once they've mastered some, do a new passcode. In kindergarten at our school, they have to learn to type in their lunch number. It's not a requirement, but isn't it fun to see them do it and learn and show that independence? Yes. So, for my Teacher Tip Tuesday makeup, first of all, we got to talk to our kids. We got to expand their vocabulary. We got to read to them, count with them. Now, this is where I'm going to need, as a teacher, when you go to school, colleges do not really teach you how to teach. You become that teacher in your classroom through experience, okay? And every year's different, every classroom's different, every child is different. It's so rewarding. So, what worked last year might not work this year. And just because I'm certified to teach pre-K through 5th grade doesn't mean that I'm totally aware of teaching those higher grades. Not that I can't, but I have several teachers on my friends list. So this is where I need you to give me ideas so I can give these wonderful parents, these wonderful viewers, some more teacher tips. So lay it on me. I've got several friends, even in this county, the next county, whoever you are. I want to know your teacher tips. So, look forward to hearing from you. Tune in next for Wisdom Wednesday Makeup.